usually in front of the rudder with a stuffing box. That's an inboard.
Inboard outdrive.
That's an inboard.
You can have an inboard with the shaft going to the propeller on the outside.
Yeah, that's an inboard.
Inboard with the propeller shaft.
The inboard, the propeller's always outside the bolt.
Yeah.
So just a regular inboard bolt has an engine, a transmission, a drive shaft, and a fucking propeller. And the only thing outside the boat's the propeller and the rudder.
Correct.
All right, that's an inboard.
Yeah.
Now, what is an outdrive?
An outdrive is like...
I know what an outboard is. I skied behind it my whole life.
Right. The outdrive is just the drive on the outs attached, going through the transom, through the hull to the transom, and we go. Okay, and